Hi, and thanks for joining me. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. These troubled times continue, but there are some restrictions being lifted in some countries. In England, we should hear on Sunday or Sunday evening what easing there is going to be of all these restrictions. I think some people are very hopeful, others are not so sure. There's no point in guessing what might happen. We just need to wait and see what is announced. I'd like to start by welcoming all my new subscribers. Hi and welcome aboard. It's good to have you along. Please do make comments if and when necessary. If you've got anything you'd like to say or comment on in any of my videos, I'm always very grateful to receive comments, and a good example of that is the anchor video which I published last week. I've been blown away by the comments I've had. Some very helpful comments. I've learnt some new things as well, which is what it was all about from my point of view. I will be discussing that a little bit later, so I won't say too much about that now, other than just to say thank you all to those that did comment. And many of them were new subscribers, I think, people that hadn't commented before. I'd also like to thank Shannon and Rodney for sending me this lovely card all the way from Polesboro in the state of Washington. That was very unexpected. I'm always delighted to receive cards from viewers, and it was a lovely surprise, but this is the first opportunity I've had to thank you, so thank you very much for that, much appreciated. I'd also like to thank those that have made some donations. They're very much appreciated. I have bought some new camera equipment, new camera and batteries and associated bits and pieces, so any donations are going towards that at the moment, so thank you very much indeed. In this video I'm going on a bit of a swan hunt. The resident swans in the marina had 5 cygnets hatch just about 2 weeks ago, and I go for a walk and see if I can find them. You'll see what happens later on. I also discuss what I've been up to, which is some more boat painting. Some more boat painting videos will be coming along. And while I think about the anchor, I will say I will be discussing that in some detail a little bit later, and you will see that I've taken aboard some of your comments. So and I demonstrate that, so thank you very much. Seems a long while since I last sat here. I've been doing some boat painting. That will be the subject of a couple of separate videos in the boat painting series. I have actually, I was just looking back, over the last 3 weeks I have done 14 days of boat painting, which is in the engine bay and on the engine deck. Some have been very short sessions, an hour or two, others have been 5 hours. But the point today is I don't want to talk about that actually. I'm on my way out for a walk. The swans, which were nested just down to my left, have had 5 cygnets. They had 9 eggs in all, only 5 hatched. I will go into that separately on another occasion. I am producing a very short film of the swans. I got some very good images of them mating and right outside the boat as well, so that will be part of a separate short film. I've also been really pleased with the comments I've had and the advice on the anchor video. That's gone down much better than I thought. I will talk about that separately though, and thank everyone for all their comments. But for now I'm just getting ready to go on a walk to see if I can find the swans and cygnets. Last night when I looked out of my window, or my hatch I should say, both swans seemed to be resting or sleeping or whatever they do. not far from my boat. Where the cygnets were, I don't know. I do believe the swans and cygnets go down towards Skew Bridge, so I'm going to take a walk down the towpath and see what I can find. I thought before I set off down the towpath I should see if the swans are around here anywhere, actually in the marina. I'm coming up to the opening which gives access and egress from the marina. It does look very narrow, doesn't it? But we all managed to squeeze through there. It's a lot better to have the sun behind you when you're walking, with ahead of you lit up, rather than filming into the sun. It's actually quite breezy. Every now and again it blows up. No sign of any swans yet. As I was leaving the marina just now, when I was already on the towpath, I met a couple of moorers on the other side. They told me the swans have been going down to the slipway, which is in the opposite direction. So if I don't have any success here, I'll go back and go and look at the slipway and see if they're about. Really blowing up now. The wind is whistling again, howling. Wouldn't have thought it. It's such a lovely day. But it always seems to be windy round here, doesn't it? I'm heading back now. I'll go down to the slipway and see if I can find the swans there. This is Bridge 18. Well, I've just spoken to my moorer chums and they tell me that the swans have gone the other way and they're beyond the slipway, possibly up near Bridge 16. Let's take another look at that opening into the marina. I'm at the slipway now. I can actually see the swans in the distance at Bridge 17. Well, how lovely was that? I'll be using some of that footage in my swans video, but I hope you like what you've seen so far. I mentioned earlier the anchor video. I was a bit worried about that one, but I was really pleased with how it was received. I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, which maybe I created totally unintentionally, when I talked about the anchor possibly not being retrieved. I was envisaging a narrowboat, the length of it, in a position where it might not be able to manoeuvre directly over the anchor to retrieve it. Not only that, I was particularly thinking of myself as a sole boater, which I think would make it even a little bit more difficult. I was really encouraged with the comments I got, a lot of useful advice. I'm certainly a lot wiser now than I was originally. One of the things that was mentioned was having a tripping line, and I'll come back to that in a moment. It's not something I had heard of before. The general consensus, and not everyone was agreed, but the general consensus seemed to be, and quite correctly I believe, that you tie your anchor to the front of the boat on a very strong cleat, and you actually have the anchor probably on the roof of your boat at the stern. That enables you to deploy it very quickly if it's needed, particularly if, like me, you are a sole boater. If there's crew, then I think you can go about things in a different way and have your anchor at the front and get a crew member to deploy it. But if you're by yourself, like I am, and you've got to stop the boat, run through the cabin, come out the other end, it's not easy to do. I am a little bit concerned as to how practical it is to have the anchor at the rear of the boat with you, as it were. I've given it quite a bit of thought and I will do a play at some time. But that was the general consensus, and a lot of people that responded are sailors of one sort or another, very often with small boats or yachts, and they said it's quite straightforward to retrieve an anchor. You know, you just sort of moor over the spot where the anchor is, directly over it, and you just pull it up. But as I've explained, I do wonder if that will work on a narrowboat when you're by yourself. The tripping line was an unusual one for me. I've not heard of it before, and when it was suggested that you tie your chain to the anchor with a bit of cotton or a zip wire, what we call a tie cable, or cable tie, cable tie, I thought, well, that's not going to be very strong. How on earth is that going to work? That's ridiculous. Someone did point me in the direction of a very useful video, and I will put a link down below because I think boaters would like to see it, and it explains it very well, what the tripping line is and what its purpose is, and it seems fairly straightforward to set up. I've had a look at my anchor, and it's not like the one shown in the video that I watched. It doesn't have the hole at the fluke's end, but it does have a little bar to which you can attach a shackle and the chain, and then the hole is actually on the shaft of the anchor, and you attach your chain to the shaft through the little hole. And now I understand why you can use a cable tie or a piece of cotton. And in the video he actually demonstrates a third way of tying off the chain to the anchor, which was a special metal fitting which is open at one end, as it were, so it can pull off. But you'll see that if you look at the video that I'm referring to. This is how I believe the anchor should be set up, with the shackle through the end part, the chain attached to it, and at this end a cable or zip tie or cotton, as some people have suggested. If you pull on here, it gets snapped. So I want to thank you all that responded. Your comments have been most useful, and I had many new subscribers respond, which was nice. It was nice to hear from people that hadn't been in touch before. And of course my regular subscribers who often make contact, so hi to you. But it was good. I had a good response, and well, I'm very delighted with all the remarks that were made. I was worried I was going to make myself look a bit of a fool, but I don't think I have. It is a subject that there seem to be a lot of opinions on, this way, that way, length of chain, length of warp and so forth. In fact, I didn't actually talk much about the chain, because apart from having a chain of a certain length, that chain has to have links of a certain size, which generally, I think people were saying 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, which is sort of 8 to 12 mil. I think my cable, my chain that is about 8 mil, I think I measured it to. It looks very strong indeed. My chain is 24 foot long. A lot of people did say the chain should possibly only be about 15 foot long, because you don't want too much of chain on the riverbed. You want a shorter length. But I've now worked out my anchor cable length, which is about 60 feet or 19 meters or thereforth, bearing in mind I've got that chain. So I mean, let's face it, I hope I'm not going to have to use it. I'm going to be very careful anyway. It is an emergency use thing. You don't use an anchor on a narrowboat normally. There may be times, if you are mooring on a river, when you will deploy your anchor, but I'm tending to look at it myself as a safety device to get me out of trouble if I'm in a position where the engine has stopped or something, or if I'm in an awkward position where there's a weir and I'm at risk. So all I can say is many thanks to everyone. Your comments are really very much appreciated. This isn't tea or coffee, by the way, it's a cold drink. I sometimes get a bit dry when I'm talking, so I brought it with me. I mentioned earlier that I've been doing some painting. Well, I started that about 3 weeks ago. I've been working in the engine bay, alongside the engine and the two areas at the back. I've also been tidying up the deck, and so far I've had 12 sessions. Or is it 13? I can't remember now. But I've got enough film probably to make 3 videos, but my intention is to make 2 videos which will appear in the boat painting series. I was up to 17 last year. No, I wasn't. I was up to 7 last year, so the next ones will number 8 and 9. So something for you to look forward to. those that like the DIY. I know many of you do like the DIY ones, not just the cruising, but everyone is mixed in what they like and dislike and what they want to see. So I always try and give some variety when we're talking about the narrowboats. Sometimes it's cruising, sometimes it's discussing topics like the anchor or painting or doing things in my shower, whatever needs to be done. So I hope you'll look forward to those. I just need to sort out the editing. And I think I've mentioned before that I am working on 2 videos which deal with my looking for and buying the boat. That's some while coming. The first part is virtually done. I just need to sort out the second part. And once the second part is done, I'll publish the first part. I'm a bit reluctant to publish the first part without having got the second part ready. And I keep thinking about that. That is a video that I was going to make last year actually. It was going to be about things I like and dislike on the boat. And I think I started that in about July last year. And here we are in May. Nearly a whole year has gone past. But I will get it done. I promise you that. Movement in the marina. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little chat, a sort of virtual chat. I talk and you listen, hopefully. It's been a lovely day today, really glorious. I've come back with a view to filming this shot, but the sun has moved round a little bit more than I thought it had. But I think you can see me fairly clearly. Oh, the boat's moving around, how nice. I haven't mentioned lockdown or anything like that, and I think it needs a few words. I am aware that some countries are now easing restrictions. We should know a little bit more at the end of this week, I believe. I hope you're all keeping well, your families and friends. Take care in whatever you're doing. Many thanks for watching, and I should say to those that haven't subscribed, please think of doing so. It's quite straightforward. Just click the subscribe button and also click the little bell, and if you do that you should get notifications of future videos as they're published. So you won't have to hunt round to find me. You should be notified. So, my final words, many thanks, take care, bye for now.